How was this past year? Was this a year where it stayed the same for you as 24? Did you grow? Did you do more? Did you do less? Again, if you're open to it, please throw it in the chat. I would love to know that, as I'll be circling back and touching base on that a lot today. This time of year, it always gets me, like most of us and that are in production, we start thinking about goals. How do we be so effective or even more effective, right? And a lot of people, I think this year, when I get into deep conversations with them, around their business, this has been a year where it's, maintain or even retract for a lot of people, right? They had to do more to get less. So what I want to do is to let's take a look at some of these things that what can we do to really hit that ground running, because when you do these things right that I want to talk about today, it really just kind of gives you an unfair advantage in not only growing your business, but running your business more effectively. And so one of the things that I like to really look at sometimes even in Zoodealio and the partnership that we have with you is, well, what are the things that are there at your fingertips that you're possibly not aware that's there, and how easy it is to get a deal review, how easy it is to engage support, or if you are traveling a channel and you're not getting the response that you want, I want to be able to show you some different channels to make sure that you are able to connect with our team and making sure that we are, being the best services we possibly could be for you guys. I want to first take a look at some of the support. Now, there's multiple different departments for support that we're going to be touching on. You have the customer success department, which is really about, how do we make money? How do we run this? How do we, generate more? What systems, what process, how do we scale out that message, right? But then also technical support, right? Like maybe making sure that your site is linking. Like, for example, I met with an agent last week that's running, pretty heavy ads, and some of the, they're getting great click-through rates, and they weren't aware of certain partial leads and, these types of things that can happen and be created so that they can cater the landing page to using the widget to catering the landing page to whatever that they want, right? So it's just, I think, taking a look at the entire tools that are in your tool belt to make sure that you're cutting as deep or going as far as you desire, right? Using a metaphor. The next one's going to be again, I think kind of understanding those partial leads, understanding what are the frameworks of, hey, we created an address, they didn't finish registering, how do we finish lassoing that person in so that we can engage them as a lead, and then whether they're ready to buy now, next year, or the following year, we want to make sure that we are at the center of that deal, winning that opportunity. Okay, now the next thing is going to be uploading your contacts, right? So this is, a tremendous opportunity for all of you guys that you want to be able to upload your contacts, press go, and get people getting your message, receiving receiving property data on their home. However, you're gathering those insights, and then you are able to engage them in conversation, right? And then that leads us into, what are we going to do to lead gen right now? And to me, right, like when we look at the deal production and everything else is going on, my efforts that have happened, pretty much through the end of October is what's going to get me my closings this year. So now from a sales standpoint, I'm already thinking about 2025. What are the messages? What are the trends? Who are going to be the niche groups that I should focus on, right? Is it move up? Is it move down? Is it lateral move? Is it that pent up demand? Is it people that, have rates that are a little bit higher and don't necessarily love their house, right? People that were higher, and then, as we go into quarter one and maybe even into quarter two, there's a solid chance, in my opinion, that rates will start to creep down a little bit. So the reality of it is what about those people that don't necessarily love their house? There was a shortage of inventory and they had a higher rate. So they don't necessarily want to refinance their house. They want to get into a home that they love. and they want a payment that makes sense for them. So if you can solve that for them on both sides, you're going to create a raving fan, and you're absolutely going to get yourself 2 deals, right? That's the beauty of it, right? Sell their existing house, help them buy their new house, right? Okay. So that's going to be looking at what we're going to go over today. And then from there towards the end, we will have some time for some Q&A and anything that pops up. As we go through this today, if you have any questions or, ways of certain things that you want to ask as I go through, feel free to throw them in the chat, and I will get to them at the end. So thank you for that. Like I said, please throw them in the chat, and I will be of service and get those answered for you at the end when we have the slot open. Okay, so first things first, what I want to do is take a look at the different support pieces that you guys have access to. So number one is going to be this right here, which was, it looks like from a example, going to be the live chat support that you guys have. You have the different departments right here that are available to you when they are online and able to be there for you, right? The offers department and the other support chat should be there up and running so that you can schedule with them. You would select that particular department. If they happen to be away from their desk, it will say offline. But of course, most of the time those chats are going to be open, and you're going to be able to get the assistance that you need. All right, now cruising over here, looking at the Help Center. I just want to introduce you guys to this here. You, of course, can email into support, our team there. You also have the phone number that will give you those same 3 different departments. And something that we have changed there is we have somebody answering the phone. There's kind of a catch-all answer the phone, right? So rather than getting directed to the department and then having to go to a voicemail and then waiting for the team to call you back, we've got somebody on the phone to make sure that we can assist you promptly. The next thing I want to take a look here is actually the FAQs. So this is a brand new piece here that we have recently added in and really kind of poured into. Now, a lot of people, when they'll call in, for example, or, they'll get a cash offer, they're not really sure what are the different understandings, what are the different, fee structures, all those breakdowns. Well, if we come in here and we type in the cash offer, whether it be the cash plus, the fix it, list it, sell now, move later, as an example, right? You're going to have these different pieces right here that's going to give you the ability to come in and start exploring this yourself. So it's usually going to be a faster answer for you, right? Where you're going to have this and then also recommended articles, right? And you'll be like, hey, Elliot was talking about the launch campaign this past week on the coaching call, and he said it's an absolute no-brainer, and just something that I need to add into my business to make sure that I'm making it rain in 2025, right? I definitely want to check that out. Boom, it's right here at your fingertips, okay? So this is rather, like I said, getting started, understanding the offers, looking at the AI home report, seeing if that's, how you upload your clients, how you engage those people. What does all of that look like, right? So it's all right here for you. Just wanted to introduce you to this piece to make sure you know that it's right there for you as well. Now, going into like the programs, I want to show you guys these assets that we have created, which are actually, the different cash offers. This is actually designed for you to be able to bring to your particular client, right? So you have this piece right here, and what I want you guys to see is, look, these are Canva links. So if I click on this, it's going to probably make me log in, but maybe I am. Okay, cool. So I could use this particular template, right? That's already been designed by our team so that you can adopt it and you could cater it specifically to that client. So if you have a for sale by owner, if you have a canceled or an expired and you want to bring them a tangible document of what the offer is, this is one way to do it. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do that today, but this is kind of more of like the marketing and general understanding. Maybe if you don't have their numbers, you want to talk to them about the offer, right? Meaning you're not sure it's a house that expired, you're working old expireds, right? and you want to say, hey, this is an offer structure from this buyer that we work with. I want to let you know that the benefits are it's going to end up being a full market value cash offer, which is determined by the market, and you get to pick your close date. So it's going to give you the certainty and convenience with none of the hassle of putting your house on the open market, right? Having people traipse through it, all of those things. So it's a great conversation starter, right? This is what that asset and tool is designed for. Now, the other way I'm going to show you here, actually, we could just go ahead and do one. Okay, so you have a couple of pieces, a couple of ways. Let's do this one first because I like this. So if I come over here on this one, this is, again, a way to get to this, and you can also get to this in your back end. This is the scenario, so let me set this up for everybody. You have the one that's more marketing, right? Conversational. Maybe I'm working at a B&I group, right? Or some type of networking group. I'm going to bring that option to be able to talk about a unique value proposition. This one is going to be more specific. So now you are talking about a house that maybe just left the market for whatever reason, canceled, expired, or a house that currently is on the market, an MLS one or even a FSBO. You want to be able to potentially talk to the agent about the actual offer. They want to see something in writing, and what does that look like? You can genuinely come in here into the system, present this to them so that they can see this cash offer. What is it? How does it work? And then you can say, hey, I have an offer for you on your house. It's been on the market for the last 60 days, and I want to talk to you about this different offer and structure, how it works, right? So they can have all of this right here. They can see everything, the step one, the steps that go on to complete it, and really just, start to make it happen. This is, again, a tremendous opportunity for people that are, to me, especially if the house, canceled or expired within the last 90 days, right? The prices are going to be pretty similar around the market. You could even use this on an existing house if the house is 18 months ago, right? And then now the price has gone up. You could say, hey, boom, here's a new offer at this particular price. We see that you were, selling your house 18 months ago, and maybe you have them on a buyer portal, and that you've seen that their activity's really spiked, right? Well, now that activity spiked, they're potentially looking again. So this is something that you want to really engage them in a conversation, and let's just kind of shake the tree and see where they're at, where maybe you got them on the phone and they were like, they were curious, not serious at the time because, they tried to sell their house for 6 months. It didn't work out. They were frustrated. The opportunity changed, and they decided they were going to stay where they were going to stay put where they were at. Well, this is now because, time has gone on. They've seen, potentially markets have picked up. This is the time of year that a lot of people are like, hey, let's get through the holidays. January, February, we're going to be thinking about selling our house. So this is where you want to use this type of asset to go in and start that conversation and use it as again, just a strong conversation starter to be able to have something that kicks it off and gets it going for you. Okay, so back to these other pieces here. Let's go back in. Okay. The last thing I want to touch on real quick with support here and staying kind of on point with our guide is going to be the different trainings. So those of you that are on this and live, obviously that Kayla and myself do live coaching every how to use the system, how to make money with this system, how to have conversations, how to convert, right? All of those types of things. And do know this, we don't come from a place of, this sounds good. We actually come from a place of this is what worked for us. When we built Zoodealio and we came up with this value proposition, it was out of necessity, right? It is 100% a marketplace that people are looking for unique identifiers. And we would use these unique identifiers to then show our expertise We would then use those to also build a relationship, right? So if I got a really strong, juicy hook that gets me in the door, allows me to start having a conversation, I can build a relationship. I can share my expertise in the certain areas. I can actually be fiduciary and start uncovering what they're looking for and the time they're looking for, right? And how I'm going to be of service and how I'm going to help them solve their problem. Right? So that's really at the scale of what we want to do is I'm going to use these cash offer hooks, right? In the event that it works, fantastic, right? Easy, smooth sailing. In the event that the cash offer doesn't work, I'm still going to be able to show them what I could list and sell their house for. And I'm going to do that due diligence up front so that if when I share them, the highest cash offer number that I have, if that net number doesn't work for them, because of the reserve in most cases, we're able to pivot and say, hey, well, what if we could get your house sold in 45 days and put a lot more money on your pocket in that first closing? Great. Boom. Right now I'm going to use that. And it's just a nice, simple, easy pivot to do that. So I want to arm you guys to be able to do that. And especially if you're working a not met lead source, right? Or a cold lead source, somebody you don't have a relationship with, you're going to need to be ready to pivot in that situation, right? Because the cash offers, a lot of times when it's a new structure like this, sometimes they're not familiar with it. They're going to love, of course, the full market value cash offer that the system generates. It just comes in 2 payouts. So I want to make sure that I'm always prepping you guys that, when it comes in 2 payouts, that makes it where it's not always for everybody. But what the cash offer is, it is for everybody in the fact that, hey, this is going to be a cash offer that is going to give you the certainty, it is going to give you the convenience, and it is something that that all sellers virtually want to educate themselves and know it's there as an option. Okay. All right. So last thing, let's see. We went through this. We'll touch on the marketing center here in just a second. Okay. So the next thing, going back to our slides here, that we're going to touch on is going to be these partial leads. So let's jump in to the partial leads and take a look at how and where this works for you as your page, within your account. So let's do a big overview on this because, again, I think that this is, for me, honestly, a really missed opportunity. Allow me to elaborate. So first, let's uncover how the partial leads work, how you're able to gather them, and what that is all about. So number one, this comes from you driving traffic to your landing page. People starting the registration process, such as this right here. Let me refresh my page, apparently. If I come in here and now I click this and I click get offer, boom, the system captures that partial lead for you and it will let you know that address started the process. Well, the next step is we know it takes them to the screen. Here, we can just do it together. Hopefully it takes them, hey, yep, let's go. Boom, it's going to give them property data. Right? And then now it's going to go for the registration. Well, a lot of times, right? Depending on how you're running your leads, data shows right now that, the pull through rate on these is, depending on what ad campaign you're doing, can be as good as, 1 out of 5 or, usually a lot of times more like 1 out of 10 is going to be that pull through rate when you're running advertising, and you're going for like a lead capture in this particular structure. So I also want to share with you, right, that if you're running, like a Facebook one-click campaign, there's certain things that you guys can do to try to pull these in and get that address and be able to put it in and start the process, right? So there's a lot of cool things. But going back to this, right, you have this. So let me click us back here for clarity. This is you have 2 landing pages that are available to you within Zoodealio. This one is what I like to refer to as the person that's looking to do something now, right? Now to the next 6 months. This is where so many people are looking to, they're in that serious consideration phase of selling their house, or they're in the have to sell their house consideration phase. This landing page is that infinite nurture process. This is connected to the AI home report that allows them to monitor and monitor their home data, get property insights, calculate their equity, see how their value is tracking with the market, ask the AI what's going on inside of their neighborhood, right? It's an infinite nurture process. And so I want to be very clear. These are the two buckets, right? Where a lot of times, I mean, yes, they're all housed in the same place, but you only have about 5% of the population, right, or the homeowner population that is going to be in this consideration phase, right? And the reason why that is you know, data shows year after year the turnover rate is roughly 5%, sometimes minus 1%, sometimes plus 1%, right? Anywhere from 4 to 6%, let's just say. It's pretty historically what it's been. So anyhow, when you look at it from that micro, well, that's leaving 95% of the population that we're not gathering. Yes, these are people that are ready to do something now and who we want to focus on, but these are also people that are eventually going to end up in this bucket, right? So why would we not want to keep our value proposition in front of them? And here's the other thing, guys. I want to just urge you. So many people January this year are going to sell their house, and or they're going to sell their house in June, and they had no clue that they were going to sell their house in January, right? Life events are going to happen, things are going to change, and they're going to need to sell their house. Well, that's where the beauty of what this is, and you keeping your cash offers, you keeping home intel in front of them, is going to give them that resource when they need it. Right? That's, again, Seth Godinism. I talk about it all of the time, right? Marketing is solving problems. And so when we can solve the problem of data, solve the problem of value, solve the problem of giving them a cash offer, solve the problem of an instant sell, if that's what this applies, if this is the need in that situation, regardless, we want to give, regardless of the scenario, we want to make sure that we're capitalizing on the opportunity. So again, this is just key stuff that you guys must put this in play. To me, again, no brainer. So let me take a step back now. So you do have multiple things, right? You have the landing pages where you can drive your traffic to. These are people that you do not have their contact information, right? I don't know Mr. Smith. I haven't met Mrs. Smith. And I don't have their name, I don't have their number, right? But maybe I'm running, a Facebook ad, or I'm running a mailer, right? Whatever I'm doing, I want to draw them back in so that I'm getting their data, right? One of my favorite things in this is my business is going to grow to the extent that my audience does. And so that's why I want to constantly grow my audience by gathering names, gathering emails, gathering phone numbers, then presenting unique value propositions. When I do that, guys, I don't care if the market, goes 3 times the dip that we did this past year. When we get so dead set on data, right, you're going to get your unfair advantage. If you're growing your contact list by 20 and 30% over the course of the year, even if you're only capturing 1% of that new 5,000 new people, well, that's a lot more deals. That's a lot more opportunities. So do yourself a favor, solve this problem, put it in play for your business. Okay, but let's talk about the second bucket that I see a lot of our members miss out on this opportunity. They're not uploading their contact list. They're not starting the marketing, right? That's getting a delivery rate of, in this, of course, again, this is real data. This is agents, people coming into Zoodealio's demo site, right? Where you're now getting this type of open rate. So I want you to think about this like an advertisement. You're getting this many people that are opening, engaging, then they're clicking and doing things inside of the home report, right? That is a tremendous, big opportunity for you guys. Okay. Now, what I want to do, actually, I'm going to circle back to this because this has to do with uploading your list in our final point. So I do want to go into the marketing library. And let's go into campaigns. Then in here, you guys are going to find this guy right here. So again, it's Zoodealio. Let me show you that again because I know I get this one a ton. Log into your account, go to marketing, go to campaigns, right? When you click on that, it's going to pull up this table which is where we store this info for you to be able to do this. So I want to show you this real quick. And the reason why we had to build this way is because we work with a bunch of different CRMs. This already exists in a lot of the CRMs out there. What you're going to do is in your shared campaign library, it could be, it's called a variation of several different things, right? It could be, I think it might be in Pawns or Trigger. No, it's not Triggers. But essentially it's a campaign, right? And if you have a publicly shared campaign inside your CRM, you're going to be able to pull this in, and you're going to want to take these particular steps, right? This is going to give you the things that you need to do to be able to set this up and start running this on your people. Now, you're probably asking me, why would I want to do that? Well, here's the number one reason why. Because this was the backbone of which we kind of built the AI home report off of, right? Making sure that we're going to get the opens and the clicks, as you can see, that we're going to be able to get, because that's what it's all about, right? We first of all must end up in the inbox. They must open it, then they must engage, click with the campaign. Otherwise, it's kind of all for naught. Yes, you can bring it to bring conversations to the opens, and we can touch on that in a moment. But this is what I want you guys to understand. This is the power of marketing. If I have 1,000 people that I'm constantly marketing to every single month, and I'm getting 30% open, or 38% like you just saw, that's 380 people opening that, right? Then you're getting, 10% click on that. That's another, a lot of people that are taking actions and, more than likely ready to do something sooner than later. Right? So now you're able to use those as actual leads, and you can call up, your client, or your past client or your prospect, and have an intelligent conversation with them, because you're capturing everything that is going on. Okay? So let me show you an example of what this looks like and why this is so effective. So this is what the consumer gets, right? This is in this launch campaign. Now I want to let everybody know, this is a feature that does exist inside of your account, right? Gives you the frameworks to be able to do this. This allows you to deploy it at any large scale and build this within your CRM, so that you can take your CRM, take Zoodealio, and blend them and make them work together. That's the whole point of how this works, okay? Now, where you're going to want to change this and make sure that this applies to you is these buttons are specific, right? They need to be dedicated to you. So you're going to want to get your link or your referral link if you're in a partnership account. If you're the account owner, it would be agent.zoodealio.com. If you are in a member of a larger account, it would be the, company name.zoodealio.com/referral link. And that is going to be where the link that you would want to grab, and make sure that you point that here so that the leads stay dedicated to you. Okay. All right. So this is, again, an absolute game changer. The reason why all of this is so important, like I said, guys, is this points them back to getting those partial leads, points them back to that landing page, points them back to being able to discover that cash offer, right? That's the whole point of this. Well, that's larger scale, marketing. Maybe I'm putting this out to people that, my larger bucket of unmet contacts, right? Like a lot of agents will have a couple of thousand of those, and those come from, IDX leads that they've never been able to contact, maybe a contact list that they got from a lender, a title partner, whatever, right? You got some data, and you want to be able to try to harvest some opportunities from that contact list, okay? Where the home report, maybe some people that are a little bit more, past clients, people I've worked with, right? People that are going to be working with that, or know that you're going to be working with. But that's the whole point of this, right? The AI home report ensures that you don't miss out on an opportunity. So I want to show you guys this real quick here, and we can go into a home report with our audience here. But what I want you guys to see that's so different, about this is this right here. So you're in for clarity, right? We have the client on. This person's in the home report. Looks like they have 2 different properties, right, here inside of the system, and I can see the difference between them. But now check this out, guys. Look at this. I'm seeing that this homeowner has come in here and looked at their home report and the cash offers for almost 3 minutes, right? I got these indicators now going off on me that, hey, they're looking at this. So maybe I'm going to want to call Elizabeth here and say, hey, Elizabeth, it's Elliot, over at, XYZ Realty. Hey, it's been a minute since we've talked, since I met you at the open house. I'm not sure if you remember. It looks like it was about 2 years ago we met. No, I don't remember. Hey, well, the reason for the call is I see that you've been checking out home details and insights from the home report that we've been sending you. And one of those things are the unique cash offers, what they are and how they work. One of those options is a cash plus home selling program that ensures that you're going to get full market value, gives you all the certainty and convenience of cash while ensuring that you never leave any money on the table. Pretty cool stuff, right? Yeah, that sounds interesting. Hey, well, let me ask you this. Are you thinking about getting a cash offer on your house? Or were you just curious how that works, right? And then boom, see how that you just take that simple framework. That's the beauty of what this does, guys, is it gives you what to talk about. We give you what to say so that you're not missing out on opportunities, because we are capturing homeowners' behaviors. That's the difference, right? So this is behavior capture. Now check out this, right? You have AI insights. So now you have different questions that they are literally prompting and asking, getting the answers. Then you have the different things that are going on right here, right? So these are all homeowners. We're literally capturing this conversation, then reporting it back to you. So this is why I like to refer to this as like a digital prospecting assistant. Think about that. Something that gives them home intel, tells them what it is, how it works, what are the features, what are the benefits, and it's all geared around you. Because when they say, this sounds interesting, the AI eventually says, hey, maybe you should reach out to Elliot, maybe you should reach out to the agent, here's their contact information, so that you can get the information of what you're looking for, right? I'm glad you find that helpful, right? All of these different things that's available to you. So these are the types of things, guys, that I want to just make sure that you know are just really, really cool stuff. Okay, I do want to show us here. So here's an example of a partial lead, okay? So this is what's so cool on this system, right? We will create this partial lead. It'll show you what's going on there, right? Then we can actually come in. So you guys have the ability to do this, okay? So now you can actually download this QR code, right? This is a little bit more specific, but I would 100% do this for my partial leads, right? I got their address. So now I'm just going to send them a quick mailer and say, hey, pull them up in tax records. Hey, Mr. Mrs., your home on 1234 Main Street. We see that you had started the cash offer request process, and I wanted to actually give you the option to be able to monitor your home's value, insights, calculate equity, what you could potentially rent your house for, and most of all, see the live cash offers, no strings attached. Feel free to scan this code and monitor your home on a monthly basis. Boom. Right now, all of a sudden, it's just so simple. You scan them, you finish pulling them in, right? So now they scan it, pulls them right into that address, and the system will prompt them to finish registering. So it's really cool stuff that you're going to want to be able to do, right? We would want to click that. Of course, this is the difference of the different dashboards. You have the traditional cash offer dashboard, and then the different home report dashboard. So again, to me, this is a must. Absolutely something that we need to be doing. The one thing I want to just remind everybody on this, right? Sometimes I think we look at a lead and be like, it's only going to convert 3% of the time, 5% of the time, depending on how you run it and do it. Well, I want to also challenge you that when we win this type of lead, it equals 1.5 deals statistically, right? 60% of the people that are going to sell, that are going to buy a house, well, they also sell their house. So when we win these types of leads over, it's 1.5 transactions. So let me share what I mean. If they're a $500,000 home sale or a $400,000 home sale, and they're a move-up buyer and they're going to buy at $550,000, that's almost $1 million of production, right? And so that's a tremendous opportunity for you to add to your GCI in a big way. So what I'm getting at is let's say that you create 20 of these over the course of the year, one of them converts. Okay, that would be a 5% conversion ratio on just what I gave you. Well, let me ask you, that 20 hours takes you, let's say it takes 10 minutes, each time. So that's 200 minutes. What would that be? 2 hours and 40 minutes, right? So that'd be 2 hours and 40 minutes. Yes, there's transaction time and whatever else on top of that, but I want us to think like, what is my highest income revenue generating activities? Well, when we do that, and if we follow the math equation that I just gave you, and you have 1.5 transactions that happens, and it's $900,000 of transactions between the purchase and the between selling their existing house and purchasing their new house, right? $900,000 of transaction, let's say. Well, if we even do 2.5% commission on that, right? That's a really, or 3%, $27,000, right? That's a huge return on investment. Like $27,000 of generating income for 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 40 minutes of activity. I don't know about you guys, but I'm on board to do that. Right. And so that's exactly what I'm trying to share with you is you never know which one that's going to hit. But when we're diligent and we're consistently doing this and following up and then pulling those leads in and then they convert, here's the other multiplier I want us to think about. Well, this happens. We get this lead in. We do 2 deals with them. We, throw our shine on, do an amazing job for them. And all of a sudden, 6 months from now, they refer you. And then you build a relationship. And then next thing you know, the next few months, they send you 2 more referrals. What's the cost of generating that lead now, right? What's the intangible cost of not generating that lead? So these are the things, again, I just wanted to prompt us to be thinking about as we go into 2025 to work as smart as we possibly can and to systematize these approaches. Right? I know I'm giving you guys a lot of ideas on how to generate, how to use the system to be a little bit more effective, but these are the key differentiators, right? And the other thing too is, there's just a lot of things that we're going to be moving and doing with mailing to be able to, help you generate new leads and, again, solve problems at a very big scale for you guys. Okay, so let's go back to this piece here. Let me go back to our outline real quick, make sure that we touched on everything. Okay, so support. We have touched on support. You have the 3 different channels. You have all of those, marketing support. You have the FAQs. You have, live help videos, all of those things that are there. We hit on partial leads, the importance of them. What they are is the landing pages, people starting the address, then it comes to you inside of the system. And then you don't want to just leave those dead as, those are crappy leads. They didn't finish. They were curious, not serious. Because I promise you guys, someday they're going to be a seller. That's just facts. So we want to win them over. We want to be there for them when they decide to sell their house. Make sure it's you. All right, uploading your contacts. We did talk on that, but let's dive back into that topic a little bit more detail. Okay, so let me show you guys how easy this is, okay? Number 1, if you have a contact list and you have, 85 things in the header and you go to upload your header and it just doesn't look like this and you're like, geez, this is too confusing for me. I need help. 100% you can send your CSV file to Zoodealio and we will upload it for you. We will map it and get it all done for you so that that it adheres to all of this criteria and you're not uploading garbage, etc. Now, one of the things that our system does that a lot of other ones don't do out there, why this delivery rate is so high, is we actually will ping and verify the email address prior to the system accepting it. So do know that if you have 500 contacts that you're uploading and it says, hey, you check all 500 have contacts, names, etc., emails, you're like golden. And all of a sudden it says it uploaded all of them, but 3%, right? So that's 15 of them are not accepted. You're like, why? Well, that's because those email addresses, the system is pinging and saying that they are no longer valid emails. So know that. Okay. But I want to show us real quick here on this, right? So this gives you the steps right here, being able to map the fields, what it is, what that looks like. We can come in here and we will choose a file. Let me see if I can grab one real quick here. I'm not going to upload it, but we'll go ahead and map it and so you guys can kind of see how it works. Okay, so the system, right? Got the list, uploading, checking it out. Now I just need to tell it where to put everything inside of the system, right? So name is Renee, last name is McDuffie, email address, boom, phone number, boom, address, city, state, right? All or and city, state, zip code, right? So now the system actually already mapped all of this for you. You would just want to confirm this. So if I click continue, the system is going to start uploading it. Now, like I said, the system is intelligent, so it wanted to make it a little bit easier for you. This is a really cool thing because if you had about 10 other things in there, it's only going to pull those headers, so it's not going to get lost in the shuffle and whatever else. So now we just literally click continue, and it would pull that list right in there for us to be able to start marketing. Really cool stuff. Okay, so then from there, you're going to want to add them to the home report so that the system starts the automated marketing for you. Guys, what I want you to see here in this is, let's go to the activity. All right, now we have all of those stats and everything that's going on that you can see, but we now have how each drop performance is doing that's gone on over the duration of time, right? So we can click to see what emails they're engaging with. We see what's being sent to the homeowner. Know that all of this is your branding, all geared around you. So like I said, when this is marketing done for you, this is exactly that. Sends to them twice a month, capturing all these insights, all of this intel, everything that you have here. Then it is, making it happen for you by then alerting you back, saying, "Hey, they've had these conversations. This is what's happened." Right? This is where it allows one person to operate almost as 5 or 10. Right? Because if you have an audience of 5,000 people, right, and you know that you need to follow up with 5 to 10 people per day, that's something that you can absolutely handle. And the system, when it's generating these type of opportunities for you, right, or let's say it's going to generate, in that situation, to generate at about 5,000 people, you'd be looking at more like probably about 60 good hot leads a month that the system would generate for you. That would be over the course of the month. Well, some of those are going to be ready now. Some of them are going to be nurture, right, for the next 2, 3, 4 months, right? Maybe or over the next year, right? So it's just going to be that type of thing where it's going to be, the system is going to give you the intel to make sure that you're not missing out on opportunities, number one, but number two, that it's creating deals for you by these tremendous unique value propositions, right? You're not the one having to send out the mailers. You're not the one having to run the ads. All you do is take your contact list, press go, and the system does it for you. It doesn't get any easier than that. Okay. Back to our list. All right, so let's talk about marketing in 2025. Well, now and 2025. Okay, so this is a big one to me, right? And this is going to be kind of like the perfect segue from what we were just talking about, and I already kind of gave you a good teaser. To me, when we live in this era right now, right, where so many people, like, it's absolutely relationship based. I think everybody wants to, kind of put it in such of a process, and it's just an order taker. Well, this is real estate, guys. 100% we need a unique value proposition. We need to show them that we can solve their problem. That's how we're going to get in their door. That's how we're going to get them to answer the phone or reply back to our email or reply back to our text. With that said, it is then from there getting them to know us, like us, and trust us. This is their greatest asset. And so for us to be able to do that, we need to let them know and tee it up front. Part of the reason why I do this, guys, is because there's sometimes people when they, let's say it's a cash offer that just doesn't fit for the person. What you're going to want to do and make sure you set yourself up for success in this is you're just simply going to be very honest with them. Hey, this is a institutional cash buyer that it's not emotional for them. What they do is they look at this from a process. This is a really cool program that solves problems in a big way. However, it's through a structured cash offer program. And it's a portion of your equity that's going to be held back, which is why they're able to make such an aggressive offer. Now, that portion of your equity is held as a hedge. It will be returned to you once we resell your house on the open market, but I just want to be upfront with you on this offer structure, how it works. Boom. Let's see what those numbers look like for you. When you tee it up versus leading in with only, this is we're going to be at a, 100% of market value, no problem, right? And then once the house gets in a review and they're like, hey, well, what's this 20% reserve, right? Then it seems like a bait and switch. This is where transparency comes from, guys, is it's really important. And you also need to know when to deliver that. So for me, I will 100% lead with the cash offer. Then I'm going to dive into finding out more about them, what this move looks like for them, why they want to move. Is this a move up? Is this a move down? Why is that important to them? And why is what's important to them, right? So it's almost kind of, I call that the too deep, and you want to dig, right? And then from there, of course, it's relationship building. But this a lot of times takes time. I have to follow up with them. And this is where that large pool of the 95% lives, right? These are people that they're kicking it around, and especially with rates, the way that they are, you have a lot of people that are on the fence. But remember, if you are in a state where this applies, the become a cash buyer will get people off the fence real fast when you can buy their next house in cash on their behalf, negotiating down the interest rate and even specialized terms so they are paying less for the house. Really, really cool. As I like to put it, gangster type plays for your business, right? That you want to come in, dominate, and crush it and have that key difference. Lawrence, just signed on. Is the Become a Cash Buyer program available in MD, DC, or Virginia? Lawrence is in DC. Lawrence, it is not in Maryland. It's not in DC, and certainly not on the map anytime soon for that. We are looking. I've been working with the team to try to get it over there in Virginia. So someday soon that will be there. As an FYI, right, what this is based on is this is done in conjunction with a lender partner that we have, right? And so part of the underwriting process and how this works is we need to get the person cash qualified, because if you're going to put out the cash, we need to make sure that they're going to be able to qualify for a mortgage underneath it. They're the ones that set out the cash, and then it gets replaced with that mortgage, right? So that's how that program works and why. So just as an FYI on that. Okay. Let's see. All right. Looks like this is a big one. I got another question from Miss Dorsey on the Become a Cash Buyer as well. Is the Become a Cash Buyer program only for home sellers? Absolutely not. It is for everybody. First-time home buyers is an absolute no-brainer. I think it's the way that you make them competitive right now. As we all know, high prices, high interest rates, challenging time for first-time home buyers, or even, your first move-up buyers, people that maybe have only lived there for 2 or 3 years and they just don't have a boatload of equity. So this gives them that ability as a first-time home buyer to come in and compete in a big fashion, right? The other thing I want to leave you guys with there on that, or at least plant the seed on, is so number one, you want to do it, but also you can lead with cash because there is a 1.5% fee on the program. They can get qualified. They can do all of that. But in the event that, let's say it's a house that's been on the market for 60 days and it's just, they're fine with switching it from a cash offer to a financing because we can still hit the date, right? If that happens, they then don't have to pay that 1.5% fee, right? That 1.5% fee, which a lot of times we're able to negotiate the terms through concessions or through price savings, right? It ends up being a wash and actually a net gain for the buyer, almost like 100%, almost 100% of the time it does end up being a net gain. I just want to be clear that it allows you can pivot and move around in that situation. It's a really, really cool offering and option for your buyers. Now, let me give you guys a pro tip, because I don't practice real estate actively anymore. But if I did, this is without a doubt one of the ways that I would be starting conversations. So those of you that have your IDX leads, right? So If you don't know what an IDX lead is, that's your buyer registration leads from your website, realtor.com, Zillow, whatever else, right? Those like 85% of all leads, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but let's just say the overwhelming majority of them, of leads that are generated online, or start out as buyer leads. Now, what I love about that is over 50% of those people also have a house to sell, right? So we want to make sure that we're capitalizing on that. And now I'm going to lead with the buyer. So even though they have a house to sell, they also want to see first where they're going to move to. So I'm going to have a very, very simple conversation with them. I'm going to say, hey, Carla, it's Elliot over at ABC Real Estate Team. Hey, I see that you've been checking out this property on 1234 Main Street, the last couple of times. And I, not here to bug you, but I just actually had a curious question for you. When you find the house that makes sense for you and the family, are you looking to pay cash for it, or are you planning on getting financed? 80% of the time, they're going to laugh and say that they are going to pay be getting a loan, right? And the reason why I know that is just because 20% of transactions are cash. Okay. So 80% of the time they are going to be getting a loan. You say, okay, cool. Well, I anticipated that being the case, but the reason for my question is we actually have a program that turns you to a cash buyer. How it works is we actually get you qualified, buy the house in cash on your behalf, giving you the ability to negotiate as a cash buyer so you can get specialized terms, reduce the price, and do a bunch of really cool stuff that just makes sense. And one of those key things is potentially get you a lower interest rate, saving you money every single month. Really cool stuff, right? Yeah, that is really cool stuff. Yeah, so this is a new program that we've been rolling out and talking to a lot of our clients, prospective clients about. And what it is it gives you an opportunity to act now versus waiting for the rates to come down like they probably are in the spring and next summer. Reason being is so many people right now are waiting for that to happen and waiting for affordability to kick in. Well, through the power of cash, we can come in and negotiate down the rate and even potentially do, 2-1 buy down and give you an option to where you're going to have a cheaper payment. And we're going to do that through cash, right? And then you start using these types of things down where you can talk to them where, you're buying down the rate at a 2%, for the first year, and then, in 1% the following year, right? And a lot of those types of things to be able to really kind of just get the conversation going. And then the other thing I like to do, right, is it's kind of a loose number, but per every $1,000 that you save them is usually going to save them anywhere from about $6 to $7 a month in monthly payment. So if I can negotiate a deal down by $25,000 or $20,000, right, that's going to give me savings of $100 to $150 a month, depending on how it shakes out in the amount, right? So a lot of times for a lot of people that when you're looking at $150 a month doesn't sound like much, but when you do the math on it, it's $1,800 over the course of the year. That's almost like another half of a mortgage payment, or maybe a full mortgage payment for them, right? So it's just, again, I want to prompt you guys to think as solving problems. Move them now by a unique value proposition, because what happens when you show them how to do these things, number one, you come across as the pro. Number two, you have an offering that nobody else has. And number three, through these things, you start to build a relationship and trust. That's the beauty of it, right? So again, my goal is to help you guys level up, dominate, and crush it now and in 2025. So as always, guys, thank you so much for being on here with me. Remember, if you got value out of this, be sure to share it, be sure to like it. And then if you're seeing this for the first time, feel free to smash that notification button or subscribe so that you are notified every time we drop a new one. As always, thanks so much, guys. We'll check you on the next one.